Welcome to the All Financial Hour podcast with Steve All.
Steve, my friend, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. The endurance event's over, so it's kind of nice to go into that recovery mode and really not do a whole heck of a lot. But the St. Jude Marathon down in Memphis is that first weekend in December. You know, and I've done that for quite a few years, and that's one of the charities that I have a big heart for is the kids at St. Jude. And the main reason is St. Jude, if they find something in that hospital down there, they don't patent it and make the money off of it. They give it to the world. So for myself, that's an amazing event. So I got to go on my 8-9 mile runs, which weren't that difficult. I know that sometimes that makes me feel like I'm saying something terrible. They weren't that difficult when you were doing 18 hours and 12 hours and stuff like that. But it's still a little bit of wear and tear on the body, but I look forward to doing it. I look forward to going back down to Memphis again, and I'll get it switched. But if you would like to make a contribution to St. Jude, go to Steve All, that's SteveAul.com, and it will lead you to my St. Jude website, and you can make a contribution there. And just put on the little thing that's from KMOX. I'll match your amount that you put in. So I've done that every year, and I will continue to do it. But that's the next kind of big endurance thing for me. A couple of guys did an event that I'm going, no, trails is not for me. But we'll look at stuff like that in the future. Would I do the 29 again? Yes, in a different light, though. It would be somebody going with me to make sure they make it to the top.
Oh, I love that. These are all future goals that you have.
Yes.
For those that are not aware, 29029 is an endurance opportunity that Steve just conquered and won. It's essentially you are hiking the equivalent of Mount Everest. You did it with flying colors. You feel great. You're looking great. And, of course, your next goal here with St. Jude, that happening the first week of December. I want to make sure our listeners hear that, by the way. If you go to steveall.com, that's going to take you to Steve's donation page. Basically, he's trying to raise money for the hospital. It's nothing to do with Steve. This is all for the hospital, guys. If you put on there that you're a radio listener or that you heard us talking about it on KMOX, he's going to match your donation. Again, that is steveall.com. And I tell you what, just switching gears here a little bit, maybe you have a goal for retirement. Maybe you want to work for a charity. Maybe that's what you've always wanted to do, is say, forget this 9 to 5 and this agenda and this organization stuff. I want to go raise money at, St. Jude, or I want to do this and help animals. Whatever your goals, your wishes, your dreams, your wants are in retirement, these are all topics you're going to talk about when you meet with Steve one-on-one. I know, obviously, yes, it is about income. It's about making sure you have enough money to last for your retirement. But it's also about achieving those personal goals and those bucket list items, right, Steve?
Yeah. As I like to put it when people come in, I said, you've saved your entire life for someday. Guess what's going to happen in 6 months?
Someday.
Mm-hmm. What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody's picture of retirement is different. A lot of times when couples came in, they haven't really answered that question among themselves. And they're completely different on what retirement looks like for the two of them. But that's the idea around it of it is you've saved your money and did what you were supposed to do. Now it's time that you can do what you would like to do in retirement. And I look at retirement it's not a destination, it's a journey. And having somebody walk through that journey with you is very, very important. Somebody to know the pitfalls, taxes. Make it so it's simpler or take some of the stress out of it. Income replacement. Those things are the important things that I believe myself and my team are here to help you with in your retirement. Because remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
Absolutely it is. And if you're looking for somebody to help navigate you on this journey of retirement, Steve has been doing this, guys, for over 3 decades. He's here to help you. Again, 636-230-8824. If you'd like to come in, we'll do just a complimentary consultation. We'll get a couple questions answered for you, or if it's better to do it over the phone, because look, we know folks are busy. You're doing a million different things. If driving and having that phone call is easy for you, we'll set that up for you as well. 636-230-8824. 8824. Now, I want to talk about our friends here at the Fed. The stock market is coming to grips with the Fed starting to cut interest rates. Economist Brian Jacobson was asked on Fox Business if the Fed will keep cutting rates by 50 basis points, or are they going to slide back to 25?
I think that I am warming up to the idea that they might do another jumbo cut. If you kind of think about the balance of data that we're going to get between now and when they meet next, we get one more inflation report, and then we get two more job market reports as far as the employment situation report. I think we're going to see a little bit more cooling of the labor market, which might tilt them more towards a 50 basis point cut as opposed to a 25.
All right, Steve. So do you think that the Fed should just take it slow here, or should they keep, full steam ahead, keep it aggressive?
I think the 50 basis point move that they had, I think that was more aggressive than a lot of us expected. And I think that could be that compensation that I think that when they had to start raising rates, they didn't do it fast enough, and then they were raising them just tremendous amounts, 50s and 75s. So I believe that they're trying to get away from that part of it. But my statement of it is, do you have a long-term plan to focus upon? Because I can go, no matter what the Fed does, you need somebody that's going to keep pointing you in the proper direction. Because what I think a lot happens to a lot of people, they get caught up in all the noise. So that comprehensive retirement plan, the one that includes how am I going to get my income, taxes, Social Security, when do I take that? It's going to talk about fees. It's going to talk about long-term care and legacy planning. Those are the things that we need to look at and to focus upon, because the noise out there, as I like to say it, 3 years from now, do you think anybody will remember what the Fed is going to do in October of 2024?
Yeah,
probably not.
Not so much.
Get that comprehensive retirement plan so we can help you focus on what's important, your retirement.
Steve, one of the things that you've mentioned is Social Security. I know you have a very important and exclusive educational event coming up on October 23rd, focusing on Social Security, which everybody needs, and also Medicare. Tell me all about it.
Well, that's one of the questions that we look at. Scott Stream is my Medicare guy. I don't do Medicare. I don't want to do the continuing education to make sure I know what each one of those plans are doing and how they've changed, which prescriptions are covered. I can't keep up with all that stuff. I would rather give that to Scott. So Scott has helped me with my personal insurance, and he walked me through Medicare earlier this year. So I work with him on this, and we look at it and say, Social Security and Medicare everybody needs that. It doesn't matter where you're at in the financial spectrum. You got to figure out when is the best time to optimize your Social Security. What is best? And how are you going to do Medicare? A lot of the misthoughts around Medicare are very, very strong. So getting that information from somebody is very important. We used to joke that people will get about 85 pounds of mail that year in which they turn 65. Now, I didn't go onto any of the Medicare sites where I'm searching about Medicare or anything like that. So I probably got less than 50 to 100 pieces of mail. I was planning on doing an event around all this mail. I didn't get it because I didn't hit that site. Mm-hmm. And I send my clients to Scott. And I think that's the important thing to do. Get the information so that you can make an informed decision. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you have $50,000 or $50 million. Those two things you're going to need.
Now, it's time for Major League Baseball's League Championship Series. And chances are the four ballparks are probably going to be different here. And let me give you some examples. Here's comedian Kellen Erskine.
Did you know that the dimensions to a baseball field are just whatever? The infield's always the same, 90 feet to each base. But the outfield, they just make it up. To hit a home run in Fenway Park, Boston Red Sox have got to hit that ball 302 feet. Houston Astros, on the other hand, 436 feet. That's a 45% difference. And no one ever talks about it. Like, maybe there's a reason why the Red Sox have been to 13 World Series. You see that excited NBA coach? Hey, great news, guys. We're playing in Chicago this week. The rims there are only 5.5 feet tall.
He's making some good points here. And Steve, I can tell there's something brewing in your brain. How do you feel about this? I mean,
I can still remember playing baseball in high school. And I hate to say it, that's 1977. Mm-hmm. Hit a shot dead center field. Drilled the ball.
Yeah.
The guy caught it at the fence, and the fence in dead center, it was like 440 yards. And I don't think I've ever hit a ball that far, but he caught it at the fence. And this guy's talking about that. I remember that like it was yesterday.
I mean,
so
clearly
it comes from, but it's like, all the baseball fields are different. And when the Cubs burn out in August because they didn't have lights and every game was played during the day. So every field's got its advantages and disadvantages. But I've always looked at it to the point, I'd say most of the time in Wrigley Field, the wind's blowing the same direction for both teams. At Fenway Park, that short porch is there for both teams. So, it's just those ballparks are designed, and I think that's the manager's choice to put the team on the field that's best for that field. If you got a short porch in left field, put somebody that puts it to that short porch. If you got a short porch in right field, get a guy that hits it that way. Put your left-handed hitters in there. To me, that's manager's choice, and that's how to play the game of baseball, which is not quite as much today with all the money they make. They don't steal bases. They don't do these things as much anymore, and you're not allowed to throw an inside pitch, And I look at stuff like, could Bob Gibson pitch today?
Probably not.
Because Bob Gibson was the guy, if you wanted to dig in the box, that's not a problem. Bob's going to put it under your chin.
Yeah.
Today, they'd give him a warning and throw him out.
Yeah, things have changed.
The
Rules
game
are
has
changing.
changed a lot. The game has changed a lot. But they're all the same. But that reminded me of God, I haven't thought of that one in a long time either. So thank you very much for walking me down memory road.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could bring that trauma back from 40 years ago, so you're welcome. But, it got me thinking here, when it comes to elements of a retirement plan, some are the same, some are different. I mean, how do you find the balance there? And essentially, it comes down to customization, I think.
Well, I think the pillars of a retirement plan are all basically the same. So we look at it. What do I mean by that? Everybody needs income. As Mel likes to put it, there's only three things that are really important in retirement. It's income, income, and income. So do you have an income plan? We get too many people that walk in. Do you have an income plan? No, I don't. My advisor just told me, he said, don't worry about it. We'll just make you enough money and you can take money out of it as you have. And I said, that can work, but would you like more? You have that availability, and I look at three different ways that we could build income. One, get a guaranteed income. Set aside part of your money. Use an annuity. I prefer the deferred annuities over the immediate annuities, but give me so that income's guaranteed for the rest of my life. Cover my lifestyle. Then the rest of my money is used for the extras. I want to travel. I've got inflation and stuff like that. Social Security. We got to optimize that Social Security check, especially if you're married. And we got to look beyond when's the best time to start it now. Have you thought about Social Security when you or your spouse passes away? That survivor's benefit is very, very important. Most people only talk about risk reward. Investments. What kind of return I'm going to get? I prefer to do that with the least amount of risk possible. And then the one that most people will never talk to a client about is taxes. My tax opinion is a little bit different. Most times we look at taxes, we want to say, how much can I save this year? Well, if we look at it in the big picture, they've changed a lot of the rules around IRAs and 401ks. So taxes, what about that big picture over a lifetime? Because a lot of people say, well, my taxes aren't that bad right now. Have you thought about when you lose a spouse? Or have you thought about when you have to start taking required minimum distributions? Then we look at the fees, long-term care, and legacy. We're not lawyers, but we like to look at that legacy. When we start to look at people, how are you going to leave these assets to your kids? So most plans have the exact same or the main ingredients, but most only focus on the investment. If you're looking for somebody that will look at those other things, taxes, risk reward, legacy, income, give us a call now. Ask for the comprehensive retirement plan.
You mentioned Social Security being one of the pillars there, Steve, and your upcoming event on October 23rd is focusing on Social Security, which is very complicated and everyone's relying on. And then the other side of the coin that you're going to focus on, Medicare.
Yeah, I'll do the presentation on Social Security because everybody needs it. We'll talk about those things. survivor benefits, when should you take Social Security, will it run out? I'll talk about all those things. And I'm also bringing Scott Stream in. Scott Stream's my Medicare guy. Medicare open enrollment is going to be coming around soon. So it's the idea that let's look at these things. Medicare's not set it and forget it. It can change every single year. Give us a call now. I'm doing this presentation because everybody needs those two things. No matter where you're at in the financial spectrum, everybody's going to be looking at when do I take Social Security and how do I best take Medicare.
Thanks for listening to the All Financial Hour podcast.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business All Insurance Group, LLC, AIG. All Financial Group, LLC is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by All Insurance Group, LLC, AIG are not subject to investment advisor requirements. IPW and All Insurance Group, LLC, AIG are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This radio show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. All Financial Group, LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by All Financial Group, LLC.
This radio show is intended for information purposes only.